Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't been here before, then make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for regular content of me documenting my journey. Now in this video, I want to talk about how I personally analyze products. Now, I definitely wouldn't consider myself an expert at online arbitrage, Amazon FBA selling, whatever you want to call it, but I've definitely learned some lessons from mentors, courses, groups, all that sort of thing, on my journey so far. So I thought I'll give you a real in-depth video on how I personally sort of pick my brain on what's going through my mind when I'm personally analysing deals. Now, I'm not going to hold anything back. Also, I'm going to do a really in-depth video on, once again, just how I personally do it, okay? So this is up to date on my knowledge, what I know so far on all things Keepa and just general analysis of a deal. So I managed to find this product, right? Now I haven't looked into it yet properly, okay? I've just found it on offer at Ocado for £5.17. Now let me just be clear, any products I'm looking at here, I'm not condemning that they're a good deal or not a good deal. I'm just using this as an example, okay? You've got to always do your own due diligence on that, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is type £5.17 into the BuyBotPro analysis, and I'm going to click Analyse. And as you can see, it's already done this, okay? And it's already come out at £1.19 loss, okay? So obviously, on the face of things, that's not good, okay? But what I've noticed is there's also 1,269 estimated sales a month according to BuyBotPro. Now that may not be, completely accurate. It could be a lot more than that, could be a few less. But generally, I always think it's probably more than that if BuyBotPro is estimating that. So the next thing I'm going to do is double check what the prime price is selling for on this product, because this could be MF. And to find out if this MF, which is merchant fulfilled for those who do not know, what I currently do is scroll down here and I would find out who it's dispatched by. And as you can see, this is dispatched from and sold from Martins and Sons, which means it's not FBA. And it's also plus £2.95 for delivery. So in order for prime, we need to find out how much the prime price is and has been in the past. What I would do is simply hover over the Keepa graph here. I can see recently that this product was £6.75 prime not long ago, the 8th, around about the 9th of October there, as you can see. If I look back a little bit, I could also see that it's £6.75 here, prime, 6.75, 7, etc. So straight away, for me, I would personally, if this was just your general deal that I had seen, I would stop there. I wouldn't look any further. That's it. Done. I would go off this page and I would personally not look. Because I'm looking for generally I'm looking for regular replenishable items, even though I do sell your general vanilla OA that may just be one-off deals as well. I'm looking for regular, if I'm manually sourcing, I'm looking for regular replenishable items. And for me, it's too inconsistent. I cannot make money at £6.75 there, or £6.99, or £7.29 there. And as you can see, that seems to be the general price for the last 3 months. So personally, there is other strategies that you could look, but I wouldn't be interested and I would click off this page. However, for the sake of this video, let's just pretend that there is some profit in this item, okay? And let's carry on analysing the Keepa graph, okay? So let's pretend that I got this for £3. There we go. And let's click enter onto BuyBotPro. 98p, 32% ROI profit, okay? If you were prepping that yourself, okay, then that could be a good deal if you were prepping it yourself, although it is a very heavy item, so I personally wouldn't be interested, okay? However, once again, let's just pretend that this is a profitable item and let's move on, okay? So I would obviously do my due diligence on BuyBotPro. Some of the things I notice on BuyBotPro, once again, is the estimated sales. Now, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, the estimated sales, okay? It says 1,269 there, but this item is in the top 1% of grocery, okay? And as you can scroll down here and see, it's top 1%. The sales rank is 960 in grocery. That, to me, could be selling a lot more than that, but it's a good estimate to have, okay? The next thing I'll do is look over statistics. You see the sales rank on the right there with the green. At the bottom is 39 drops per month. Now, some people say that a drop is a sale, and I don't agree with that. I think that a drop is only possibly a sale if the item sells really, really low. But generally, I find that a drop could mean more sales. And generally, I found that items actually sell more than the amount of drops, a lot more in some cases. And in this case, it's definitely selling more than 39 drops. So it's good to look at the drops and the sales rank, but I would never go by that, because I've sold items that have said there's only 5 drops a month and they've sold 50 a month, 100 a month, or even more. So I wouldn't worry about that too much, but it's the next step I would do is just look over how many drops it's got a month, and look on BuyBotPro for the estimated sales, and then you just get a general idea. Sip of coffee. Cool. The next thing I'll do, once again, pretending this is a profitable item, I'll always just hit the year straight away on the Keepa graph. I will look at the year, okay? And what I can see on the year is I always look around about the January time. I start off my analysing looking at January, okay? And just a little bit before January. So I can see that this price is extremely consistent. I can see that last year, at the end of last year, which we're just coming up to now in October this year, is £6.80. And November before that, it was £6.80. I can see January, £6.80, and so on and so on. We had a slight spike here due to the coronavirus, okay? You can see that there was a lot more demand, so the price went up, obviously, inflation, demand, etc. And then the price gets back to 685, 680, and what I can see recently is that the price has actually dropped to £6.75. But generally, my overview of this is that I can see 100% this is a very, very consistent price. This is pretty much £6.80, £6.75, very, very continuously for the last however long. I would even click the all 1,615 days just to check the consistency there. Yeah, as you can see, for years and years and years. Okay, it went down to 650 years ago, but generally the price is extremely consistent. And I will actually say that this is probably the most consistent price that I've ever seen on Amazon. So I would be, once again, if this was profitable, this item, I would be extremely keen to take this on if I could get it at the right price. And perhaps you can in wholesale, etc. But you've got to bear in mind there's the weight of the item. You've got to send it all in, the weight of the boxes and the UPS boxes. But once again, for the sake of the analysing, this is a very consistent price. Okay, so that's the first tick in the box. The consistency is really spot on, and that's the first thing I would do. Once again, it only takes me, by the way, 10 to 15 seconds to analyse this stage. I'm just going into it more detail, every step of my mind, just to show you the general price, okay? The next thing I'm going to do is look at the sales rank. So I look at the sales rank, okay? So looking back for the whole year once again, I can see that the sales rank has, now we're not so worried about the sales rank in a split moment in time. Now let me explain what I mean. Currently the rank is at 960 in grocery. Okay. Now, although I'll take that into account, I would never buy a product just off the sales rank alone. I'm looking for consistency in the sales rank. So let me look back once again. I start at the beginning of the year usually, just so that it's before the virus. If you're watching this, around about this time, 2020. But also every time I would do this, just because it gives you a good outline of what the consistency is. Once again, we're looking for consistency. We've got the first tick in the box for the price. The next tick we need is the sales rank. So I can see that in November, December, the sales rank was, okay, it went up here to 2,666. That's because it's around about Christmas, I assume, and people weren't buying it as much. But as you can see, just after Christmas, it started selling really well again. It's because there was some sort of break around Christmas. People aren't really looking at buying this soja sauce around Christmas because they're too busy getting all their Christmas stuff and toys, etc., purchasing. So I'm not worried about this. And to be honest, the first thing I noticed that when it's been inconsistent here and the sales rank has gone up, which means that it's sold less, for those of you who don't know, the lower the sales rank, the better. what I can see there is that the sales rank has actually only gone up because of a certain event that's happening in the world. Christmas. People aren't buying this. This is what I'm assuming because of Christmas. But what I'm noticing is that it's still a really, really good rank. I mean, I think the worst it got to there was about 2,666. I mean, that's still a very good rank, okay? And the other times that the rank's got to that worst stage, which is still a good rank, by the way, 3,087 there. Once again, that was because of, I assume, because of the virus started happening and people couldn't get their... There's a reason for it, you know, but it's still a good selling item, and the reason was because of the virus, I assume. Once again here, demand went up, price went up, sales rank went down. Sales rank went up, sorry, which means less sales because the price went up there to 1070. So what I'm saying here is that it's still, overlooking it in general, it's still a very, very, very consistent item in terms of the sales rank as well. Because although the sales rank went up, it's still a fast selling item. And there's a reason for it anyway. It was because the price went up, but now the price is back down again. You can see the sales rank has gone down again. And the sales rank is generally extremely consistent there, okay? So it's got another tick in the box, okay? You do need to look into your different categories if you're starting new. Look at the sales rank just so you've got a good idea. But once again, as long as the sales rank is generally okay, I'm looking for consistency. I would never judge a product off just its sales rank alone. You've got to look at the consistency of how well it's selling, okay? Great. So that's another tick in the box from me. This is good. Let's look for Amazon. Those of you who don't know, you can hover over the orange here and it will show you Amazon. All the orange on the graph is Amazon. Interestingly enough, if I look back for all the time, Amazon have never sold this before. They've only just started selling it in the last few months, okay? As you can see there at 690, which is okay because although it's scary, it seems to be okay because they have been higher than the FBAs. But as you can see recently, Amazon's gone down to £5.17. So I would assume that a lot of sellers are actually going to start going off this item now because Amazon has started undercutting people, which is going to be very frustrating for people that have been selling this for about 7 years, as you can see in that graph there. But anyway, that's the second thing I would do. You can see where the orange is. I'm not going to go into detail. That's pretty basic stuff. The orange is the Keepa graph there. The next thing I'm going to look at is I'm going to level up the amount of sellers on this graph. Now, let's look at the consistency in sellers and let's look to see if the demand is just getting ridiculous or if it's always been like that. What you can see here on the second graph here in the blue is, once again, if we look back to my normal sort of area in December, January, etc., I can see that there was 32 sellers there. Now it goes down slightly, 27, but generally, as you can see, there's a lot of sellers, but it just seems to be consistent, nothing wrong there. This suddenly drops off once again in March, and it actually goes down to 1 there. Now, let me be honest, generally I would be wary of this item because all the sellers dropped off, and what would pop to my mind usually is that there's been an IP claim on this. They filed a complaint here, and then all the sellers dropped off because of that IP complaint. However, in this case, we know that that's not right. We don't know, but we assume because of the global epidemic that we had, all the sellers dropped off because the demand absolutely skyrocketed. As you can see here, the demand went to 102 there, sales rank, just an incredible amount of sales that have started happening, okay? So as you can see there, that's the reason for this. And then the sellers have climbed back on here, and we've got a consistent amount of sellers here, around about 14, 15 here. So I'm really happy with that, but you've got to look at that just to check that there's no huge drop-offs in the graph in the history, because that to me would scream out a possible IP claim. As for example, you can click the all there and just check if there's been any massive drop-offs. And if you saw that back here, then I would assume that that's most likely an IP claim if they all suddenly dropped off all the sellers. So that's something else to be really wary of. Another thing that I look into, bear in mind when sometimes the product can sell a lot, but the sales rank won't grasp it as quickly. So sometimes it won't drop loads, even if the item is starting to sell really well. Sometimes the sales rank won't pick that up that well. So it's really hard to judge an item, once again, in a split moment or even just a week in the sales, because sometimes it won't actually pick it up as quickly. Now you would have to start selling items to understand this more in depth, but that's just a general idea of it. Let me go into more detail on the drops of the graph. See, generally, the lower the rank and the smaller the drops, that's more sales, okay? The larger the rank, right? Say if this was 7,000 in grocery, popping up to 10, popping back to 7, popping back to 10, that would mean less sales. And that means each drop is less sales. However, the more condensed we get, around 634 sales rank, goes down to 521, goes up to 628, goes down to 550. That's a really condensed small number of a sales rank. Therefore, that means more sales. Okay, that means that each drop could mean a massive, well, it does mean, because this is getting so many sales, it means a massive chunk of sales generally. It doesn't mean, that definitely does not mean just one sale. I got taught when I started this that a drop meant a sale. And that is just so not right on a product like this. Once again, it could mean a sale on slower selling items, but generally, the bigger the sales rank, the more accurate each sales rank drop is here in terms of meaning a sale. But I still think it's a really inaccurate way of even judging the sales. You've just, over time, you've got to understand the sales ranks, and you've got to understand the consistency, and you'll start to understand how many sales potential that product has actually got. I would never judge it off by just the drops, although it's really good idea to get some sort of idea off the drops and by the drops in the sales rank there, which is 39. Okay, but I would just use that as a general idea. Okay. Let's have a little look more. Let's have a little look around some more up here of the BuyBotPro. Okay, so if you want to go to more detail, let's just pretend that we got this item for £1.50. Okay, click Analyse. As you can see, £2.48 profit, 165% ROI. Now we're talking. Even though it's a heavy product, I could still chuck in 5 or 6 of these into a box and then chuck loads of lighter stuff on top. So for me, I'm interested. As you can see there, no hazmat, no IP radar there. Now, no known private label issues, no known IP risk there. That doesn't mean it hasn't. That's why you need to do the due diligence that I just did, looking back, seeing if there's been any massive drop-offs, okay? BuyBotPro is not guaranteeing that you're not going to get an IP violation. It's just giving you guidance that they've got no known IP violations. That's a really important thing to grasp, right? No hazmat, and yes, I'm eligible to sell it. If and when you do sign up to BuyBotPro, and I'll drop the links below for my affiliate link, and if you sign up with my link, I'm happy to do to jump on a call with you just to see if I can sort of help you out at all. Just drop me a message if you use my link below. I've got other links there, so check them out if you're interested. What's really important is to connect up to your Amazon account and see if you're eligible. So yes, I'm eligible for this item. Now, probably still a good idea, if it's going to be a heavy investment, to go back to your Amazon account and check manually if you can sell it before you risk a big lump of money. But obviously, this is 99% of the time very accurate when it comes to eligible or not. BuyBotPro also gives you an average there, so 25.83%. That's price stability, average profit, Amazon selling. It's sort of a general idea, consistency in whether it thinks this is a good deal. What I love about BuyBotPro is the storage fees here. You've got a 1 month profit, and then if I click 3 months there, if this item had to sit in the fulfillment centers for up to 3 months, then you can see that my profit slightly goes down, but it's okay. You can click all of these: 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. And as you can see, the deals gets worse and worse the longer it sits in there. So that's why you've got to be careful about how consistent your items are selling and analyse your deals properly. But sometimes, obviously, it can be worth it on high-end profits to actually have them sitting in there a while. Return on investment, V's buy price, 165.33. That's all good. Obviously, if you're doing merchant fulfilled, just click the MF off here. I'm not going to go. I'm going to do another video going in depth on BuyBotPro, but this is just giving you an outline. As you can see quickly here, illegible, yes. IP radar. It's sort of a repeat here. No hazmat, no dangerous goods. Oversize is unlikely. BuyBotPro analysis is saying no, generally, but I think it's an okay deal. Depends how you package your items. And then obviously here you can see your competition analysis. Now you've got stock level here is 8, which is Amazon. So Amazon haven't actually got that many left. So that's a really good thing to check. You can see that the stock level here is 327 on FBA Prime. FBA Prime, you can see JFC UK, so that would be quite a big competitor. And once again, I would probably click on more sellers and just check if you want to do it manually. BuyBotPro is accurate, but once again, if you're investing heavily, I would always check manually how many sellers, how much stock your competition's got as well, because it doesn't harm double checking just to make sure you do the right. Total stock with the top 10 sellers, 1,720. So there's a lot of stock, but this has got a lot of sales, so it's not the end of the world. And then you've got your prime sellers there, MF sellers. So all of this, what I've just gone over in general, is the analysis that I do literally within 30 seconds to a minute generally of looking at an item. Now, if I'm investing heavily, then obviously I'm going to spend more time analysing, but generally I look at an item and I can tell within 30 seconds if I'm interested or not. So I hope that's helped, just gives you a general idea. Once again, some links below. If you sign up with them, let me know and sort of we can have a chat as a thank you for signing up with my links. It doesn't cost you any more. Obviously, go on Google if you prefer to not, give me a few quid in an affiliate link. But if you do, just to say thanks, I'm happy to obviously jump on a quick call with you. So cool. I hope that helps everyone. Leave some comments below if you've got any more questions or videos you want me to cover on other stuff, and have a fantastic day.